Yes, Mautu madam, we can start now, please.
Okay. So, very good morning to all of you. Myself, Motan Mukherjee, Assistant Professor of CCIT. Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Information Technology with Institutions Innovation Council of Bengal Institute of Technology in collaboration with Institute and Open Power Foundation organizes 3 days workshop on data science and art of future. Today is the last session of 3 days last day of the 3 days workshop. It's a great pleasure and honor to have eminent speaker among us for 3 days. It was such a wonderful session where various topics were discussed. I hope everybody must have something to take back out of this session. So today there are two sessions. In the first session, Professor Nilarun Mukherjee will showcase the innovative projects and research by the faculty and students of BIT, and Dr. Orgho Kushum Das will showcase the institute projects. In the second session, Sri Kamani will cover the topic artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. So I would like to welcome all the dignitaries and all the participants on behalf of Bengal Institute of Technology. So now I would like to request Mrs. Orpita Chakraborty to felicitate today's first speaker, Professor Nilarun Mukherjee, with virtual memento and flower bouquet. Thank you, Orpita madam.
Thank you.
It is shared.
Yes,
Is it shared? Okay, thank you.
Now I like to request Professor Nilarun Mukherjee to start today's first session. Nilarun Mukherjee is the Assistant Professor of CSCIT Department of our institute. So, sir, please start the session.
Thank you. Good evening. Good morning, everyone. So let me start the presentation. And I think the slide is visible to all of you.
Yes, Mr. Mukherjee is visible.
Thank you.
Yes,
everyone.
visible.
So now I'm going to discuss the projects and the research activities of Department of CSCIT of BIT. And while preparing for that, I was in a great dilemma that we are now in 22nd year of our research and project activities. So what to tell and what not to. By the way, I have come out of and with the guidance of my colleagues and seniors, I have chalked out a way, and with there I have listed out some of the things that may or might give an idea of what the activities and research we do in our institute and mainly for the department. So, with the teachers and the motivators in this teaching learning ecosystem, we don't acquire or impart knowledge that just sit back and perish. Instead, we thrive for active knowledge in our department, which spreads, which assimilates into minds, and ultimately shapes into a working ideas and innovations. The experienced faculty members of CSCIT of BIT not only contributes in the field of research for their own doctoral and doctoral activities, but also motivates and guides students in various research and development activities. Mini projects, tech-based projects, final year projects, Smart India Hackathon projects, and many more are there. So software development projects among the projects that we do, the first kind of projects that we endeavor are the development projects, which provides a hands-on experience of the state-of-art technologies that are being used in the industry, and also makes them accustomed with the software development life cycle followed in the industry. Then there are research-based projects, and that layouts the motivation and foundation for the higher studies in the student, and open up new verticals of career growth. Last but not the least, the innovative projects of different hackathons. And currently we are being all of us being very busy with the Smart India Hackathon that is going on, and the submissions are going on. This provides all the above facilities of learning technologies and other, plus prepares them to be an entrepreneur. And the shift from being a job seeker to a job provider. And that's what we call the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And this is towards the marching towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And it also incubates the innovative mind in the students, and that not only discovers a problem that's very important, a need, a scope of service to be provided, which is still missing but has enormous demand, then designs the quality solution for that and develops the ultimate product, but also considers the business aspect of it, considers the profits, the risk involved, and creates and nourishes the market for it until it becomes a success. So this thing were not there when we have started the teaching, and now with the help of the Union Ministry and others, we are being able to motivate the students in this field of innovation, and that's very challenging and very much promising to us. So what we do, let's have a quickly go through the handful of projects from the pool of projects. But when I have started, there are so many projects, what to pick and what not to pick. There was a dilemma that are carried out in the. So I picked the just the current academic year that have been going. So in the current last year, we have what we have. I have seen that there are some full stack development projects and Java full stack development, and then the Android based projects are done. So the technologies and APIs that are being explored for the front end, many of the projects are being done in Redux, Bootstrap, and HTML5 jQuery. All of these, they are using CSS, different version of CSS, and mainly most of them are using React.js. And for the backend, and React.js and actually is the middle tier, you can say. The Ruby on Rails, PHP, Angular 2, different projects, different to groups use different. The most popular is the PHP and Node.js. And some of the projects reports when what I was referring to have also used the socket.io. And then we have the databases, which MongoDB is the famous one, MySQL, and the Couch and MS SQL are less popular, but still some of them have used it. Then for version control, mainly the main popular one is the Git, and Grant, Xdebug, Supervision, all are being used in different projects. And for product management tool, Jira itself is very much famous, And REST API, Express API is for to build. They are very much popular, and Redux is also used. Some and others are I have found in one or two projects, but these others, REST and Express and this Jira, which is for main monitoring the project activities. Many of the mm, teams have already used this. So some of the projects that we have carried out in the last year, and which is the online movie, airline and railway reservation systems, online voting systems for general election, online placement portal, and uh, social platforms simulating the Instagram, Facebook. Also, other platforms are being explored, like Twitter, and online shopping apps, and that ranges from bookstore to garments to different, or they try to simulate the Flipkart, Snapdeal, uh, Amazon. This site they want to simulate them. And then there are some projects which are real-time vehicle tracking, crisis management, like some accidents happened, how collaborating with it is an Android-based application, collaborating with the Google Map, and exact GPS location is being sent, and with the message with the nearest mm, location, if possible. If the current location is directly not possible, the nearest landmark, then type of the crisis, then also giving back the nearest those who are in crisis, giving them the direction for the help, and nearest medical store or something. This There was a project on that. Then real-time health monitoring, the project is also there, and which tries to use some IoTs and other hardwares to monitor the health in real time and suggest what to do. And patient management for the hospitals. And then there is a project of real-time attendance monitoring system, which is based on face detection. And that's a very challenging project, and which tries to detect a face and register the attendance. So some research activities are also involved in this project. Then for mainly with the for research-based projects, the domains that the faculties explore, actually this happens according to the choice of the students, or the doctoral or postdoctoral topic of the teacher. So medical image processing is one vertical, and that's a very vast vertical. It goes from cancer, skin cancer, uh, lung cancer detection, from to CT scan based detection, and that mainly goes from unstructured data analysis, from unstructured data, that is video of MRI images, or still pictures from CT scan, fundus camera scanning. So diabetic retinopathy, lots of the medical related detection from structured and also from unstructured data. Then NLP, natural language processing, using the conventional NLP, and now the current using the RNN cell LSTM GRUs. And many of the teachers and professors are working in the sentiment analysis, and the handwritten character recognitions, and then some of the faculty members are working in the protein binding affinity, this topic is related to also the medical, but this is based on structured data. And obviously the big data related projects are going on, and also the object detection from the images of different scene, and that goes from object detection of objects like cars and faces, but also there are projects to detect stealth weapons and concealed weapons in the airport, all these kind of projects. So for the approaches of the research-based projects, uh, uh, for some we use data science, the hypothesis testing, ANOVA, chi-square test, and for machine learning models, we use the multiple linear regression, naive-bayes, decision tree, random forest, SPM, logistic regression, KNN, AdaBoost, XGBoost. And I'm mentioning this name because different works in the past 1 or 2 years have used either one or two or combination of ensemble of some. That's I have taken from that, and I have to mention all these algorithms. And then the conventional image processing techniques, filtering, morphology, and feature extraction, conventional hand coded feature extraction or hand engineered feature extraction that we tell, using the histogram of oriented gradients and the scale invariant feature transform, LPB, local binary patterns. Those are being used to extract the features from the images and then apply some machine learning on that to classify and to give a solution to the research problem. And conventional sound and video processing techniques are also used. Conventional NLPs, that NLP techniques that were used before the deep learning is applied to this NLP field. And then the deep learning models, artificial neural network, CNN, RNN, LSTM, GRU, autoencoders, GAN, then the UNIT, and these are the things that I have found in the papers and papers from of the teachers and their students, those who have published the paper along with the students, and they are very popular. And mainly the LSTM, GRU, RNN are being widely used for this uh, sentiment analysis, and wherever we have some textual time dependent data and we have to classify something like whether to predict mood, predict sentiment of a feedback. These are very much used, and those who are working with the medical image processing and object detection, they use the benchmark CNNs like the VGG, going from the VGG, then to coming to the last shuffle net, dense net, then many have used the efficient net. Many benchmark CNNs are being used. And generative models are also explored, that is the GAN, generative adversarial networks. Those are being used, and these are very effective when we have to simulate unavailability of data by simulating fake data, and we try to create a data which is not which can fool the model, assuming that they are actual data, and ultimately we can train it by more. And that's I am talking about the usage of GAN from a particular paper of from one of our faculty, and that's very interesting to find. And then some of have also used the reinforcement learning, and that's mainly used when we have not much data to model, and we have a uh, we have a given a incentive for the right predictions so that the learning becomes more robust. And then the languages, for this we encourage our student to learn, and some of the languages they learn during the study, and most of the languages they have to acquire during the final year projects or during the hackathons or during the mini projects. And for the software development projects, apart from the IoT and other things that they have to acquire and collaborate with the EC students, for the languages they must acquire many of them have used the Python, Java, R is also very much used, and some of the projects have used Scala, Ruby, C++, Java, and .NET. But mainly the Python, R are very much used, and Java. Yes, Java is also used. For the API, the TensorFlow, Keras, Cafe, PyTorch, Theano, they are being widely used. And for the big data platform, the Apache Hadoop, Spark, PySpark, they are also used. And obviously the MATLAB. For the model explainability, the TensorBoard is used mainly, and for visualization, Tableau, Seaborn, Matplotlib, these are being used in the projects. And for there was a hackathon organized by the Techno India group, and there also we have seen the usage of this visualization and these APIs by the students, and mentors have motivated them in the first and second year and to learn all these so that they become enable during the third and fourth year they become master of it. So that's all for from my side about the projects of and research activities of Department of CSCIT. I think has uh, this has sufficed the cause of this discussion, and I have somewhat able to uh, provide you with some details of what research and projects activities we do in the Department of CSCIT. And pardon me if I have not been able to express or explain every research project of BIT, but that would take the entire session or entire day. So thank you. And so these are the few research projects. We have the emotion-based music player, the conversion of offline handwritten. These are some topics from the last year actually. Offline handwritten character to corresponding online handwritten character. That's I have seen. I have given the domains of online character recognition. So handwritten character of English alphabets, struct protein binding affinity prediction using the deep learning, movie hit prediction using sentiment analysis, movie recommendation systems using sentiment analysis. Then we have object detector combination for increased accuracy. Then we have the histopathological cancer detection. These are the project titles of the last year. Cancer detection using deep learning approaches. We have deep learning framework for lung cancer detection from histopathological images. And we have detection of diabetic retinopathy from fundus retinal images using deep learning. These are the few of the project titles of the last year. And then we have the SIH projects. Sorry for, I think it has been closed. Okay, thank you. And that concludes this discussion. And hope I have somewhat able to enlighten the audience about what we do in CSCIT in research and development. Thank you. Thank you, Motan.
Thank you, Nilaran sir, for your wonderful presentation. It was very much informative also. So without wasting much more time, I would like to call the next speaker, Dr. Dash, to showcase the Institute projects.
Right. So thank you. First of all, before going to my presentation, I would like to thank Dr. Nilarun Mukhopadhyay for the wonderful presentation and presenting all the researches and the projects that are going on at BIT. Those are wonderful, honestly. So there are lots of things are going on, and some of the things are really, really very much interesting. And I will be really happy if I can get a chance to collaborate with all of you. And thank you once again for presenting this so nicely. So now, so this time I am going to present a little bit of small number of showcases that we are doing in Institute and as a part of my university research. I am not going into the too much detail of all these things. Rather, I will try to keep it at a broad level so that everyone find it, everyone can understand what we are doing. And if you are interested to collaborate with me, please feel to contact me at any point of time. Feel free to contact me at LinkedIn, send me an email, or just fill out the form at Institute. I'm just going to showcase how you can contact me now and or what are the projects anyway. So let's, without wasting much time, so let me share my screen. And this is, I think I really do not need any more introduction. I'm already a known face to all of you, I believe. I am Argho Kushum Das, and I'm an assistant professor at University of Alaska Fairbanks and an advisory board member of Institute. So here are some of our projects that we are doing. So one of our major focus for the project is like creating the data research and development pipelines, like the workflow development and all these things. So we are focusing on archiving, analyzing, and disseminating the data, focusing on education research infrastructure, and also multidisciplinary research, where not only the computer science students, but students from any other department, including many departments of engineering, biotechnology, electrical, everyone can join us for our research. So here is, for example, a customized data analysis pipeline. I can remember that, Dr. Mukhopadhyay was saying about Node.js based research in there. So that's really on high demand. Node.js is really a hot topic nowadays in market for web technology. And here is kind of a pipeline that we have developed to facilitate some of our research. So this pipeline is basically being used by a research group who are doing some kind of Alaska, Arctic research things. They are trying to analyze the Arctic environment and collecting several air quality data and then passing it to our pipeline. It is being stored in MongoDB. It's being analyzed by some of these machine learning frameworks, and utilizing Node.js, we are just displaying the entire result. So we are focusing on an end-to-end pipelines, so this is one of the things. And not only these, this is another pipeline which we are working on for Wisconsin's dairy industry. So in Wisconsin or some of the states actually in USA, dairy industry is pretty advanced. They have robots who actually does the milking for the cows, and we all there are several sensors who take care, who collect the data for the bovine health, means cows health, and then send the data directly to the server, and we are catching that data, storing it into MongoDB, and then we are analyzing this data through our pipeline. And once again, normally for our research purpose, we also focus on Node.js because it is platform independent and it is very easy to use, and currently it is a hot topic in the market, and of course everyone is interested to work on it. And of course, as you can see here in the analytic pipeline, we focus both on like this Jupyter notebook and Python and R for data analytics. So this is another example. The another example work that we are doing, it's blockchain, exploring the potential of blockchain, means the decentralized technologies for healthcare data interoperability, how we can do all these different things. So here actually what we are doing, we are basically trying to build an Android or iOS like app development platform that provides the access to personalized healthcare data or personalized health data with user consent to facilitate third-party app developers. So for example, at the border level, you can think of an application like Instagram. So let's say there is a health app development platform like Android and iOS. Now there is a third-party app developers like, let's say, Instagram or some other app developers. And then when you install Instagram, what happens? It asks you that, well, it needs some permission to access your photo, right? So, and then you say that, well, yes, I am allowing it. And then Instagram gets access to all your personal photo, and then you can use some kind of filter and you can utilize their facilities. So think about that type of things we are enabling for healthcare data sets only. So in USA or in India also, healthcare data is a highly sensitive data. It's privacy is a big concern. So security, privacy, those are the big buzzword in this sector. So we are trying to do this consent management or all these things utilizing blockchain instead of normal cloud-based services that are being used in Android or iOS like platform. We are trying to facilitate, trying to do everything using blockchain-based decentralized technology. So that's a very interesting project, and in Alaska actually there is a big traction for all these this type of blockchain-based project, because here the industry has a separate type of standards actually. So anyway, so this is one research, and also this is kind of a data interoperability platform for the product that I have just discussed. So here everything is all the consents and everything are being mined in a blockchain, and it is staying inside the blockchain forever, making a permanent audit trail available forever to uphold the integrity of the system. So that's how we are taking care of the sensitivity issues of healthcare data sets. So this is one of the project, and after that, this institute platform, this itself is a very this itself is a result of several days or several months of research basically. So for example, on the top of it, it's just a website, again using Node.js and everything. But whenever it comes to enabling these hands-on experiences on real HPC infrastructure, everything becomes kind of a research-oriented things. I mean, how are you going to manage the accesses of all the students in those HPC infrastructures? Well, of course, I mean, all the time, it is not possible to get a separate account for all the HPC users, for all the students in all the high performance computing or supercomputers, because they only allow you some of the user accounts. They cannot give user access to everyone. So, but how can we enable those things, how we can leverage those hardware infrastructure and then make it available to our customer? So those things are really a field of research, and for that actually we are doing a lot of research utilizing Docker and how to separate the computation intelligently or effectively from the data layer, and then how we can do manage all the Docker container to give access to one specific user to a specific container. So all these mapping related things are these are like very huge research project from the perspective of IT and infrastructure related things. So that is another topic that we are actively working on. And also, as I have discussed in the last in my last session yesterday, that we are preparing an ONNX like model zoo, where we want to develop all the different types of machine learning and deep learning model with all the different popular tools. For that, we are basically looking for workforce where the students can participate and directly contribute to our model zoo, and that we will directly utilize for our students. So that way you can directly help the community to grow the knowledge, to acquire the knowledge in data science. So that will be a great service to the community if you want to be the part of it. So, and that's one thing. And of course, as a professor in University of Alaska Fairbanks, well, I am involved with many different Arctic and polar research, including Arctic science, engineering, geophysics, space science, and related supercomputing and satellite data researches, including northern lights and environmental researches and all these things. So if this type of Arctic or polar research type of things really sounds cool to you or sounds really interesting to you, and if you feel like motivated to do some analytic research on all these type of things, feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to collaborate with you. We have a lot of open source data that we can share with you, and we can start working together and publish paper or showcase the project in some good conference or anywhere. So that's one of these things. And then also there are some more researches going on in the Institute platform, which we showcase for the beginner level students who wants to get some exposure to AI or big data or blockchain or something like that. So for example, we are also working on an AI-based question answer agent where we are using end-to-end memory network, which is kind of an advanced deep neural network concept, which is not only just to make the decision based on some kind of neurons and formulas like that, but it can store the information also inside the memory, and it needs a lot of search and searching operations and all these things. So it's a advanced level deep neural learning network originally proposed by the Facebook research, and we are utilizing it for many different question answering agent. And also we are doing some more Docker related IT management research and blockchain based interoperability research, contract consent management, and all these different things. And not only that, also, I mean, in the last session, Mr. Ganesan Narayanaswamy from Open Power, he told you about connecting with Open Power and doing lots of research on their infrastructure, right? So they actually, I mean, this Open Power and IBM recently came up with an innovative hardware which is really accelerating the big data analytics. It's not a software acceleration once again. Like GPU is, let's say you have a slow performance CPU, then you got a high performance CPU. That is accelerating your application speed, right? Then after high performance CPU, then you got GPU. That is again another level of acceleration to your application, adding to your application. And then nowadays actually the community is realizing that, well, GPU is also not enough, because GPU is basically multiple cores doing the similar type of task at the same time. But what if I want to do multiple different type of work in the same application at the same time? What can I do? That's where nowadays the community is realizing the benefit of FPGA, that is field programmable gate array. And in Institute, actually, we have a very good course material to start you with the learning of FPGA. We have collaborated with IBM, and the thing that I would like to tell you that, well, so let me go to that page and then I can. So here in the institute page, if you want to explore, go to IBM and Open Power, and then here, and here basically we have here I need to sign in, but anyway, let me see whether I have already. Yeah, in this Google Chrome browser I already signed in. So anyway, so here I can show you. So here I will share this course page with you. Here we have collaborated with IBM, specifically Dr. Peter Hofstee, who is a very famous scientist in IBM. He was a Dutch physicist who were actively involved in Sony PlayStation. The world knows him for that that innovation. And we have collaborated with Peter Hofstee, and he developed a course material on FPGA-based technology. He's a scientist at IBM Austin. Together with Open Power, we collaborated with IBM Research Austin, and then we developed the course material. So here, what I want to do, let me give you the type of things that you can do with FPGA. I have interviewed Peter, and so let's see what does he say about FPGA. So I'm playing this interview video now. Welcome audience to our OpenCAPI course, and today with me I got a distinguished research staff member of IBM Austin, Dr. Peter Hofstee, who is also a professor at Technical University Delft, commonly known by TU Delft at Netherlands. So welcome Peter, and first of all, let me thank you for designing the course of OpenCAPI. So, so my first question to you, Peter, regarding OpenCAPI. So regarding this course, why do we need this type of hardware acceleration when it comes to big data analysis?
Yeah, so in general, of course, you need acceleration or accelerators to make computers better, right? And in one of the first modules, we look at what defines a better computer. So it can mean, faster, more efficient, etc. And, in the context of big data, of course, the challenge is that because of the internet and the various ways in which we can efficiently gather and store data, we have a lot of data to process. So it's especially interesting to process that data quickly and efficiently.
Oh, okay. So what is FPGA, by the way? So we are talking all about FPGA in the course and then OpenCAPI. So what is FPGA and how is it different from, the high-performing CPU and GPU or other hardware?
So FPGA stands for Field Programmable Gate Array. So it's also known as reconfigurable computing, right? So in an FPGA, typically what you do instead of creating a particular function by having a processor and programming it to do that function, you basically lay out that function in space, so in gates that are configured to do something, and they're actually little lookup tables and little storage elements called blockrams that are in the FPGA, and that has the advantage that you gain in efficiency. The data goes directly from one function to the next instead of having to go back to register files or memory. And it allows you to often create lower latency and more efficient solutions to a problem.
Okay, so so that's about FPGA. Thanks for the answer. So the question that immediately comes into my mind after learning about a little bit of FPGA. So why OpenCAPI? How is this related to FPGA?
Yeah, so it's related to FPGAs and to accelerators in general, right? So typically, if you wanted to develop, and let's take the example of an FPGA, an accelerated function for a computer using an FPGA, you would have to put it on a PCI Express card. And the problem with that is that an accelerator on a PCI Express card does not have direct access to the memory of the host. So typically what you then end up doing is that the host computer has to do a bunch of work to get the data to the accelerator, copying it into a buffer that the accelerator can access, and then also on the way back. And if you dig into it a little bit more, and we do that in the second module, you'll see that the cost of doing that is even much higher than just those copy operations. The operating system tends to have to get involved, etc. So you can create much more efficient accelerators if you're able to provide them with memory access to the memory and other resources in the host, just the way any processor would be accessing it, and that's what OpenCAPI provides.
Mm-hmm. Just one follow-up question regarding this. So how about the ease of programming? Let's say considering the GPU program or high-performing CPU program, parallelization, threads, and FPGA program. So which one is easier and in what way?
Yeah, I think even though there are tools now that can translate C to FPGA configurations, I think if you look at and therefore if you look at a kernel, creating a kernel for an FPGA may be more work, right, than it is for a GPU. But to go back to OpenCAPI, I think the really important thing, especially if you look at large applications, is to be able to go into the middle of an application and say, okay, here's a function that is a good candidate for acceleration. Just lift that function out without having to change the whole data structure of the program, and just take that function and implement it on the FPGA. And with OpenCAPI, you can easily do this because I can pass pointers to the FPGA. If I was going to do a procedure call, for example, I might have everything I need on the stack, and all I need to do is pass a pointer to the FPGA. And because it has full access to everything, it can then fetch what it needs and put things back. And as a program developer, as a programmer, I don't really have to worry if maybe somewhere in the middle that FPGA might have to reference something that I didn't think of before, because they can. It'd be just the same as a processor. So it becomes a much easier to integrate design. And if you have to maintain large pieces of code, this kind of thing becomes very important.
Okay, so yeah, that's a great answer, and thanks for explaining all these things, Peter. So the next question is, who are the user of OpenCAPI, or let's say what type of analytic application or other type of applications can be benefited with this OpenCAPI accelerator environment and FPGA and all these things? So if you can shed some light on that.
Yeah, so I give a few examples in the module 2B. The things that OpenCAPI is useful for, the examples I give, I think, is compression, decompression, acceleration of text analytics functions, those kinds of things. And they are a good match for OpenCAPI FPGAs for some of the reasons I mentioned earlier. Another quite interesting example is what is called timesis flow, and it OpenCAPI actually gives you a function where you can basically use a CPU as a router. And the way this works is you come in with a virtual address that the CPU through its page table is going to map to the physical address. But that physical address can again be mapped to a particular OpenCAPI port. So now, based on the virtual address with which I come in, I might go out through one of a number of OpenCAPI ports, and of course eventually hit memory. So I think that kind of thing is also a very interesting application. And in Power 10 processor, this is actually integrated in the hardware of the CPU itself.
Well, thanks a lot.
So that was an interview with Peter, and this entire course on FPGA is available on Institute. So if we not only do the researches or education activity on the software side, we work a lot on the hardware side also, in collaboration with IBM and other industries of other industry partners. And well, if you are interested to work with us, we are interested to collaborate with you. If you have the bandwidth, we can assure you there are a lot of possibilities. So please feel free to contact us, and we will be happy to collaborate with you. We will, if you want to publish some paper, if the faculty members want to publish some paper, or if the undergraduates or graduate students who want to do some research project with us, we are always open to discussion. All right, and finally, the summary statement for Institute is: we want to spread high quality data education everywhere, and we are interested in your university. So give us the opportunity to help you. And before finishing my presentation, I would just like to share another thing. This is another activities that we have done in Nirma University in Gujarat, where actually several, 2 or 3 different faculty members, we have collaborated together in order to offer a 5 days session. Actually, that was a 10-hour session on like multi-core computing and open power architecture. We do this type of educational things also, educational workshop, and it was a part of their curriculum actually, where they have invited us, and we did all these 10 hours session we have conducted. And for this thing, actually, we have collaborated with Dr. Gokarna Sharma, who is a NSF Career Award winner in computer hardware like this. So he is also another big shot who are collaborating with us. So if you want to work with all these folks, and if you want to do some kind of research, if you are ambitious, let us know. We will be happy to collaborate with you. And finally, before finishing, I would like to play a short promo video that I have prepared in the inception days, beginning days of Institute, and hope that will help you to get the view what we are doing. So let me play that video, last one.
Technology is evolving every day. The jobs are changing at same pace. Learning the right tech skills to be productive is becoming harder and harder. Hilani got her bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, but landed up in a job at Data Power, a data analysis and IT company in the field of energy and power, where Hilani needs to develop several new skills. The life was stressful, learning new technologies all by herself and being productive at the same time was really, really hard. It started hampering Hilani's work-life balance. And Hilani is not the only one in this story. The entire Indian information technology workforce consists of almost 4.36 million people, among which only 215K students have CS or IT background every year. So that means almost 4.1 million skill gap is still there, which is counting up to 20x gap in required skill and the experts produced in the Indian IT market. So what will Hilani do now? How can she learn the new skills needed for data analysis and relevant technologies? How can she be productive very quickly? Thanks to Institute, Hilani registered to the Institute Learning Platform and developed the skill sets significantly quicker than she thought. I am Arghya Kusum Das, the developer of the Institute Learning Platform, and at Institute, our motivation is to make data, computer, and IT education available, accessible, and affordable to anyone, anywhere, anytime. With our proven pedagogical technique, live lectures, and hands-on experiences on cutting-edge hardware infrastructure, we offer the students the best education and prepare them very quickly, in weeks rather than waiting for months or years. We have strong collaboration with many different academic organizations and industry, which prepare our students with the right skill that the job demands in the current world. After 2 months of launching Institute, we got more than 150 registration already. And after a few sessions in the Indian market and teaching a few students, we got several great reviews, which proved the credibility of Institute platform. So that's about Institute. Here, data education is one big data problem that we solve.
So thanks for watching this small promo video. And well, this video was prepared, I think several months back when we had only 150 students, right after 2 months of inception of Institute. And currently, let's see, currently we have almost, more than 1,000 registration already in our platform. So if you are interested, please register to our platform and help us to help you to educate more. And if you are ambitious, let us know. We have lots of all the resources that you need to grow in your career. And that is true for both students and the faculty member of your university. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dast, for wonderful presentation. From this presentation, we come to know that which kind of projects are executed in the Institute, and also how the Institute help the students and how Institute motivate the student. And the interview session with the famous scientist, Peter Hopsey, was very much interesting and very informative and also very enriching. So thank you once again for the lovely presentation.
Thanks.
So now we'll go for the next session. So I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Sri Kamani, on behalf of Bengal Institute of Technology. So now I would like to request Mrs. Orpita Chakraborty to felicitate our guest speaker, Sri Kamani, with virtual memento and flower bouquet.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am. So in today's second session, Sri Kamani will be the speaker, and she is a technical lead of Object Automation Software Solutions Private Limited. She is having a decade of experience in software development and 5+ years of experience in training program for the benefit of students community as well as faculty development program, and had successfully delivered many training programs. She is having a good experience in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. As a part of executive development on the technical advancements, she engaged on corporate organizations training. She is working with clients and building AI and edge computing solutions for healthcare, retail, and agriculture industries. Without wasting much more time, I would like to welcome Sri Kamani to start today's last session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Let me share my screen.
Okay, sure. So participants are requested to be unmuted during the session.
So is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your introduction. And I like to thanks Object Automation, our IBM business partner, Mr. Ganeshan Naraswamy, and our educational partner, Mr. Artya, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Thank you all. So to start with, good morning and good day to you all. So as ma'am said, like I'm Sri Kamani from Object Automation, and I am working as a tech leader there. And I'm here with you in this session to give you all a glimpse of understanding about what artificial intelligence is and all about this emerging technologies. So the agenda of today's presentation is initially we are going to see about the role and need of artificial intelligence. Next will be the introduction of artificial intelligence. That is, what is artificial intelligence? Then after that, we'll be looking about its applications and the area of applications. Then at the end, we'll be looking about the emerging technologies and its use cases. So this is going to be our today's agenda. So getting into the role and need of artificial intelligence. To get a clear idea about this role and need of artificial intelligence, I'd like to walk through with an industrial example. Okay. So the leader of today's story is Mr. John. So Mr. John owns a waste management factory. So he receives all types of mixed up recyclable products. This is what his factory is.
Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Kamani. Actually, your first slide is showing in the screen. So if you kindly share the full screen and share the PPT, then it would be better.
I think I am sharing the full screen only.
Are you on the third slide or fourth slide? So, but in the screen, it's showing the first slide, actually, the title slide. Yes, now it's showing the third slide. Thank you.
Now?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
visible.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Now is the slide moving now?
No, actually.
No, it is not moving. So if you can, I think you are just sharing the PowerPoint and then operating in the slide mode. So if you can share the full screen, that will possibly work.
Is it moving now?
Nope. So I think you have to stop sharing and then again you have to start sharing the full screen.
Okay.
Yeah, this Zoom has sometimes some weird behavior.
Is it working?
Yes.
Yep. Can you move the slides once?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
now it is
Now
working.
it's
Fine.
working.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So we have Mr. John with us. He is owning a small waste management factory. So he receives all types of mixed up recyclable products. Okay. So John's employees. His job is his employees have to manually segregate the items, and because of this pandemic situation or because of this economic crisis, I think John find it very inefficient as well as costly to hire more people to do that. Okay, so what will be the next step then? So now John decided to use an AI powered automation machine. So as a solution, John decided to use an AI powered automation machine to handle this task. So what does this AI powered machine do? This AI powered machine scans and identify the material type to segregate the items faster and more efficient. So this is what this AI powered machine will do. Okay. So once after deploying this machine, we'll be having a question like, how can the machine precisely identify the material types, right? So we get the answer, it is all because of machine learning. Okay. So we'll have another question now, like what this machine learning is doing here in this machine. So the features of all the recyclable materials will be extracted and it's defined for the machine learning model to train this AI powered machine. So as this AI powered machine will get trained until it recognizes what each material will look like. This is how this machine is going to work now. So it's going to get trained with the input data. Once it is trained, it will be we will be using that to identify the materials. So now John is very happy with this new machine, and he wants to make this facility. He wants to take this facility to the next level. That is, he wants to make the facility bigger the next year. So he got his recommendation is from his engineer, like we can have a machine with an extra power, with an extra superpower to handle massive amounts of materials. So, and what is that superpower called? So that superpower is nothing but the deep learning. So how we are going to apply this deep learning into this AI powered machine? That is the next question we'll be having. So this deep learning approach processes the images of the materials through a kind of neural network. So this neural network, what it will do is it classifies and defines the materials much faster than the machine learning approach. So if you are going to go with the machine learning approach, you will be identifying the materials with its features. But if you are going to work with deep learning approach, you will be identifying the materials with its images. Okay, so from this thing, I think you would have got an understanding about the role and need of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all about this in shaping the future of industries. Okay, so once after getting about its importance, I think you would have got all the why machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence is important nowadays. So once after getting the importance of this, we'll get a curiosity know about what artificial intelligence is, right? So what is artificial intelligence? We call it as AI. So this AI comes across to many as an extremely complex topic. So understanding the concepts of how AI works and what it intends to do is fairly simple. At its core, AI development is about computers and systems being able to perform tasks that would usually require the input of human intelligence. We can say AI leverages computers and machines to mimic human mind in the way of problem solving and decision making capabilities. So in a simple way, we can say that artificial intelligence is nothing but a field which combines computer science and robust data sets to enable problem solving. And here in artificial intelligence, I like to say this data set takes an important role in problem solving and decision taking. Okay, so after getting known about what artificial intelligence is, I like to give you a glimpse of understanding about what is the history of artificial intelligence. So if we dig deep into the history of artificial intelligence, we can say the term artificial intelligence was adopted in the year 1956. That is after the creation of Enigma machine by Alan Turing. I think you would have heard about this Enigma machine. This Enigma machine could decipher the German code. So after this introduction only, this artificial intelligence comes into picture. But it started rising after this invention. This industry it was started rising in the year of 1950, but it got stuck in 1970 to mid of 1990. It's because of lack of infrastructure. The infrastructure which is needed to process huge amount of data. Okay, so what happened is in 1997, that is after the success of IBM's Deep Blue system. So you know what IBM's Deep Blue system is. So after the success of IBM's Deep Blue system, we can say there was a massive growth in this area of artificial intelligence. And this picture will show you the evaluation and the future of artificial intelligence in the history of artificial intelligence. This trend show the future of artificial intelligence in as a promising because AI solutions are becoming common nowadays, like autonomous cars, robots and sensors for predictive analysis in manufacturing industry, and virtual assistants in healthcare, and NLP for reports and media, and virtual educational tutors. We have AI assistants, and we have chatbots that can replace humans in customer service. So all these are AI powered solutions which are moving forward with the huge steps nowadays. Okay. So if you're going to talk about artificial intelligence, then definitely we'll include machine learning and deep learning in that. So we'll have a question like, what is the relationship between this AI, that is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning? So artificial intelligence, like as we discussed before, it describes the machines that can perform tasks resembling those of humans. We can say it's a system that help us to manage model, analyze complex systems, and so on. We can say that it is a superset which has machine learning and deep learning as subset in it. Okay, so it describes like how computer perform tasks on their own by the previous experiences. Okay, so in machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that involves algorithms and data, so that we can use the data for automatically analyze and make decision by itself without human intervention. Okay, so therefore we can say in machine learning, artificial intelligence is generated on the basis of experience, that is on the basis of data. So next come what deep learning is. So deep learning is nothing, it's a structured algorithms in layers to create artificial neural networks. So we can use this system, that is this system help us to learn and make intelligent decisions on its own. So we can say that deep learning is a subfield of machine learning. Okay, so while both fall under the broad category of artificial intelligence, we can say deep learning is the most powerful, the one which most have the human like artificial intelligence. So once after getting known about all these three combinations, we'll have a question like, what data science in this? Okay, so data science is nothing but the field of study which integrates all these three together on the top of some programming language like Python or R, whatever it is, with a strong knowledge in maths and statistics to make the predictions from the large data set. Okay, so this is where data science comes into picture. If you want to deal with all these three categories, we have to get into this data science part. So once after knowing about all these things, we should try to know about the difference between the traditional programming and the machine learning coding. So to be a data scientist, initially one should know the difference. So what is the difference between these two? So if you're going to take about this traditional programming model, this traditional programming is a manual process. We can say this is a manual process. That is, a person is going to create the program. So we'll be having the input data, and someone like a programmer or developer will be creating a coding for this input data, and will run this data, will feed this data and the code into the system to produce the desired output. This is what done in traditional programming. But what we are going to do in machine learning techniques. So on the other hand, we have input data and the output data. We will feed all this input data and the output data into the system using on top of an algorithm. We'll be having a existing algorithm. So on the top of algorithm, we will be feeding this input data and the output data. So what my system will do is, my system will find a pattern and it will come out with a model. So this model is useful for us for the prediction. So we'll be having two phases in this machine learning thing. One is learning phase, another one is prediction phase. Once after the learning phase is done, we'll be getting a model for our prediction. So we'll be using this model and the new data, and we'll be sending this together into the computer, and then my system now will generate the result, that is the prediction result what we need. So this is how machine learning model will work. Okay. So once after getting known about what is the difference between traditional programming and machine learning programming, we should know about the approaches. Like what are the learning approaches we should know if you are going to get deeper into this machine learning techniques. So we have three types of learning approaches in this techniques. One is called supervised learning, and another one is called reinforcement learning, and the third one is called unsupervised learning, or you can say supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning. So what does the supervised learning will do? So in supervised learning, the machine is taught by some examples. For example, we provide the machine learning algorithm with a known data set that includes the desired inputs and outputs. And what my algorithm will do is it will find a method to determine how to arrive at those inputs and outputs. Okay. So this algorithm identifies patterns present in the data and learns from the observations and makes predictions. So using the supervised learning method, I can go with either classification or regression. If you are going for regression part, what are all the applications you can do is you can go with forecasting, you can go with predictions, process optimizations, and new insights. And what you can do with classification is you can do with diagnostics, fraud detection, customer retention, etc. And what is the unsupervised learning method? So in the unsupervised learning method, the machine learning algorithm tries to organize the data. It's not going to give some predictions or classifications. It's just going to organize the data in some way to describe its structure. So it means like grouping the data into clusters or arranging it in a way that looks more organized. So this is what unsupervised learning method will do. So you can do clustering or dimensionality reduction. So if you're going for clustering, you can work with recommendation systems, then target marketing, then customer segmentation, all these things. If you are going to dimensionality reduction, means you can go with the it's a kind of compressing your data, so you can go with big data visualization, meaningful compressions and illustrations. All these applications you can do with this dimensionality reduction. And the third one is reinforcement learning. So this reinforcement learning is a bit complicated one, as I know. So in reinforcement learning method, we focuses on regimented learning processes. So in this, a machine learning algorithm is provided with a set of actions, parameters, and end values. Okay. So what it will do is it teaches the machine with a trial and error concept. That is, it learns from the past experiences and begins to adapt its approach in response to the situation to achieve the best possible result. So this is how the reinforcement learning method will work. So mostly we'll use this reinforcement learning method in robot navigation or game building or some learning task approaches. For all these things, we'll be using this reinforcement learning method. Okay, I think this will give you a clear picture like what are the learning approaches in machine learning models. And next is about the areas of applications. That is, if I'm going to create a machine learning model, what are the areas where I can apply all these models? So we have several areas of applications. That is, we can take this artificial intelligence into healthcare, automobile sector, finance, entertainment, social media, education side, gaming, agriculture, e-commerce, and space. So like how we are going to take this into all these areas. So in healthcare, if you are talking about healthcare, in healthcare, AI is used for all the medical diagnosis. You have I think you will be using this Fitbit or an iWatch, right? So these are the components which collects a lot of data, like the sleeping patterns of the individual, or the calories burnt, or the heart rate, and a lot more. So this will help them with the early detection or personalization or even disease diagnosis. So this is how we can apply AI in healthcare. And if you're going to talk about automobile industry, the known product is self-driving car, which is a very good example for AI in automobiles. So in this, AI can be used along with the vehicle cameras, radar, cloud services, and GPS and control signals to operate the vehicles. So AI also can improve the in-vehicle experiences. So if you are going to talk about the in-vehicle experience, means it is nothing but the emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, and even driver assist steering. So in this way, we can take this AI in automobile industry. And if you are going to talk about finance or banking industry, so this AI enables features such as digital payments. Already, people would have been using all this digital payment things. So that is a good example for this AI in finance industry. And another thing is AI bots and biometric fraud detection system, and also about customer segmentation. So all these things are possible in finance industries. And if you're going to take in entertainment industry, it helps with all the recommendation based things, right? So like um how you can get a view about the previously watched contents, or the suggestions, like what you have to watch next or what you have to read next, whether it is a movie recommendation. I think you would have experienced this in YouTube, Netflix, all those things. And if you're going to talk about social media, in app like Facebook and all, you would have experienced this, like Facebook personalizing our news feed, people tagging the faces, and uh, the people you may know, or tagging the people you may know, or all this are done using this machine learning approaches. And talking about education industry, so in education sector, it is one of the most human influenced sector. We can say it is a more human influenced sector, but we are applying artificial intelligence in this also. So some applications like content creation, voice assistance, then automating your administrative task like attendance system, then personalized learning system. So everything can be developed using this artificial intelligence. Okay, then if you take gaming industry, I know you would have experienced all the AI facilities in gaming industry. Like AI is employed to get responsive or adaptive or intelligent behaviors in NPCs. It's kind of almost human like intelligence in video games. And if you are talking about agriculture industry, artificial intelligence is used to identify defects and nutrient deficiency in the soil. So this is done by using computer visions, robotics, and all the machine learning applications. So where we can use AI to analyze where weeds are going or growing also. So in object automation, we have developed a project for this agriculture, like we are combining drones and this AI together to create a monitoring system, to create a crop monitoring system in this agricultural industry. And in e-commerce, so in e-commerce, implementing machine learning process enables companies to build a personal relationship with customers. We can say the AI is used to build a personal relationship with the customers. AI algorithms help us in personalizing the user experience, then increasing in sales, and also to build some loyal and long-lasting relationship between the customers and the company. So this is how e-commerce artificial intelligence is helpful in e-commerce industries. And if you are going to talk about space, so we can say NASA is also working with AI applications for space exploration to automate the image analysis and to develop autonomous spacecraft. So why the spacecraft is developing is they can avoid space debris and to create communication networks from like more efficient by using an AI based device. So they are trying to input this AI applications in space also. And these are the areas where we are applying this artificial intelligence techniques. And what are the applications available in this artificial intelligence? So what are the applications we can do? So we can create automatic language translation system by using this NLP technology. And we can go with a diagnosis system and creating diagnosis system, which is helpful for medical. And we can go with the prediction analysis system for business, for finance and stock marketing. This online fraud detection, that is anomaly detection for cyber securities and even for social financial sectors also. And we can create a virtual personal assistant system. So this is cell phone in all the area. And we can create this email spam and malware filtering. And we can apply artificial applications for self-driven car, like object detection or object segmentation for all these techniques. And we can create a recommendation system also. It can be used for all types of in the all types of sectors like e-commerce or entertainment, whatever it may be. Then we can also go with traffic prediction system, for which is helpful in transportation sectors. And the speech recognition and image recognition, everything we are experiencing in our real-time thing, right? All the smartphones and all, we have this speech recognition and even image recognition. So these are the applications where what we can create in this using this artificial intelligence technology, and we can apply this applications in various sectors. This is a example of applications. And what are the challenges if I'm going to work in this artificial intelligence field? What are the challenges and the limitations I'll be experiencing? So if you are talking about the advantages, we have easily identifies the trends and patterns. This is AI is used for easily identifying the trends and patterns. And the next advantage is no human intervention is needed. And the third one is, so it is a continuous improvement. We can give a continuous improvement. We can show a continuous improvement in this field. And handling multi-dimensional and multi-variety data is easy. And we have a wide range of application areas. But if you're talking about the disadvantages, we have a high susceptibility. That is, error is high. Then we have data acquisition. As we discussed before, data plays an important role in this artificial intelligence field. Getting a data to create a model is difficult. One way is getting a data, another way is storing a huge amount of data. That is also is in a critical thing. And the next one is interpretation triggers. That is to come out with the best result. That is also is a bit problem in this AI thing. Then time and resources. So if you are going to generate a artificial intelligence application to a sector, means to get a perfect accuracy and to implement that model into the sector will take some will need little time. It's a time consuming process. Okay, but once it's deployed, we can get a massive growth in the sectors. So these are all the advantages and disadvantages we'll be facing in this field. And now we are here with the latest, that is emerging technologies of artificial intelligence. So as of now, we have seen about the basic details about the artificial intelligence. This is nothing but the latest improvement that we have showcased, that we have seen in this artificial intelligence field. That is how the famous companies are handling this artificial intelligence, how they are taking this artificial intelligence into the next step. So this is what we are going to see now. The first thing is this deep reinforcement learning method, which is applied in a company, that DeepMind company is using this method. So what they are doing is they are using this deep reinforcement learning method in their healthcare sector. That is, they're using this method for analysis of eye scans to find early signs of diseases leading to a blindness. So what this method will do is it's a feedback based technique. This reinforcement learning is a feedback based technique. So for each good action, the model gets positive feedback, and for each bad action, the model gets negative feedback or a penalty. So the model learns automatically using the feedbacks without any label data or any human interventions. Okay. And next one is we can say transformers. This is another approach from NLP where OpenAI is using. So it's a modern neural network architecture that is revolutionizing the field of NLP and computer vision. So this transformer architecture implements an encoder decoder structure. So this OpenAI is using this for generating the GPT 3.5 NLP model. Then we have self-supervised learning, which is applied in Facebook. So in this self-supervised learning method, the first we'll have two different types of model training. In the first model, in the first training, the first model trains itself from the limited label data. Suppose if I'm not getting a required number of data, the first model, what it will do is it will train itself with the limited label data. And in the second training part, what we are going to do is we use the same model to label the unlabeled data. So it's a kind of, we can say it's a subset of supervised learning method. Sorry, unsupervised learning method. So this technique is used by Facebook. It is using this technique to detect social media abuse, then hate speech and other harmful content. And next is the AutoML. So AutoML is used, now Google is using this AutoML. So this AutoML is nothing but the complete automation of end-to-end machine learning pipeline. So if you are going to work with any problem statement, so the whole pipeline, the end-to-end pipeline will carried out with this can be carried out with this AutoML part. So the pipeline includes like data processing, model selection, training, validations. Everything is added by this AutoML part. So Google AutoML is a cloud-based service that can be used for machine learning pipelines for doing classification, regression, and other ML techniques. And next is about federated learning. So federated learning, the Apple is involved in this federated learning technique. So what this federated learning does, it trains and runs the AI algorithm across multiple decentralized edge devices. So it is designed to solve the data privacy issue. So Apple uses this federated learning in Siri, that voice assistant. So the voice commands, whatever the voice commands you are giving to your Apple phone, it stays inside the mobile and it never leaves your mobile, unlike the voice assistant. So this is used for your data privacy. And next comes the transfer learning, which is used by Amazon. So this transfer learning is the reuse of pre-trained model on a new problem. So for example, a model to detect animals, we will have created a model to detect animals. This model can be extended to find a specific animal like a dog or cat. So it's a kind of using the same model again with the different inputs. Okay. So this technique, Amazon is using this technique for Alexa. So this is used for extensively to transfer knowledge across various languages, models, and futures. And next is machine teaching. So Microsoft is using this machine teaching platform, which provides tools for building models for autonomous system. So projects related to Machine teaching covers like intelligent robotics, then drones, and so on. And the last one is the quantum computing. So IBM uses this quantum computing system. So IBM Quantum has accelerated the applications of quantum computing to solve the challenging problems in the machine learning techniques. So IBM is also providing a library called Qiskit to access the real quantum computer to test all your machine learning problems. This, I think, this Qiskit is available in IBM websites also. So this is all about the emerging technologies. That is the next step of the artificial intelligence. How the industries are taking artificial intelligence to the next step. So we have come to the summary part of this presentation. So I can say in recent years, the major improvement in artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning uh, is given rise to transform every industry digital. AI is transforming all industries. So the progress in these fields are, we can say, it's breathtaking. And a few years from now, we are at present we are in not even in a basic stage, we are in advanced stage only. But a few years from now, these tech fields will look very different than what it does today. As companies look to invest in these new technologies because of its faster innovations and its optimization efficiency to improve the productivity, it is important, I can say it is important to establish a baseline understanding of what the terms like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning mean. So with this, I conclude my session, and I'll open the room now for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enriching presentation. So student participants are requested to ask the questions by unmute yourself and directly write into the chat box. Now session is open for questions.
Participants, if you have any questions, you can freely ask madam directly, or you can write in the chat box as well.
Well, Shri Kamini, I mean, thanks for the wonderful presentation. This is Argo here.
Yeah.
And I have a quick question for you. So let's say if, is it possible for the students to be the part of some of the project that object automation is doing? Do you offer any type of internship or anything? If you can give that type of information to the student, that will be really helpful.
Yes, Mr. Argya, we do provide internship. A kind of training internship is also provided for the students. If the students is not that much aware with this artificial intelligence field, we'll give a basic training to them. And once after they have trained with the basic knowledge, and based on their knowledge, that is based on their output in their training period, we'll be alerting with the different projects what we have in our sectors. Like we have given this drone related project to the aeronautic students. Okay, so they are interested in this AI field, so they approached us with the training and the project. So we allotted them with the drone related project, which is helpful for the agriculture industry. And one more drone related project we have developed for disaster management system. I think we have submitted that for the IBM summit also.
Mm-hmm.
And we have and currently we are providing projects with the chip related things also, like hardware projects also we are providing. So based on the students' knowledge and based on their interest, we do provide all types of training. And if they are good in their knowledge level, means we can take them to any level of project things.
Great. Thanks for sharing the information. I think there is a question now on the chat window.
Yes, there is a question. Are our personal data consented being used for improvement for AI as well?
Sure. So who are all using your smartphones, they are all passing your personal data to all the big giant companies, right? If I'm going to store a contact in my phone and you will be accelerating Google in your phone, automatically your contacts will be transferred to Google Contacts, and that contacts will be used by Google for their research purposes. I think you would have experienced this in the app called a calling app, Truecaller.
Yes,
We have
Truecaller.
an app called Truecaller. So who are all installed that Truecaller to identify your contacts, they are taking your contacts for the other purposes also. Definitely, what if you are going to use internet? I can say it is not a private platform.
Sure. Yeah, let me give another aspect, since the student have asked. I'm not sure whether he's a student or professor. Anyway, so Iman. So well, Iman, the another thing that you should think about it, this privacy versus personalized service. That's a big question for ethical concern nowadays. I mean, which one do you prefer? Do you want to get more personalized service, or do you want to get privacy? Based on that, there are lots of research oriented things are going on. For example, if you are using iPhone at some point of time, I mean, previous version of iOS, what they used to do, like let's say you have installed Instagram or you have installed Outlook or something like that, and some photo editing app, let's say. Previously, what used to happen, whenever they used to just ask you only one question: do you want to give access to your photo? And whenever you do the consent, and they get the access to your entire photo library. So that was a question for privacy, but user didn't have any option but to give them the access to the entire photo library. Then actually Apple proposed some kind of policies. Apple developed the technologies, they changed the platform so that you can select only the photos that you want to share with Instagram. So this is how this consent mechanism, this privacy preservation, this personalization, all these things are taken care of. So yes, I mean, whenever you are giving some kind of access to your data, maybe photo, maybe your health information, maybe your education information, whatever it is, make sure you have understood the consent.
Yes, for that only, I think I have mentioned you that federated learning in my emerging technologies, like Apple is more investing this in federated technology because of the privacy holding.
Yes, Kamani, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, actually, I just going through your slides that I have seen that transfer learning concept means actually we are also using nowadays that the concept very much in NLP and all.
Yeah.
My question is means how much it is popular in the healthcare industry right now. The transfer learning means how it has been used, means how your industries are actually collaborating with the different healthcare industries and using those transfer learning concept. That's my question, because this is as much as I heard that is very much popular, the machine learning techniques nowadays is used.
Actually, this transfer learning, we are applying this transfer learning in most of the areas. As I told you before, we developed the 2 drone related projects. Like for both the projects, we applied this transfer learning technique only, because if you are talking about the data, okay, if you are going about healthcare industry, or if you are going about some aerial zoom pictures, we won't get that much of data to train our model.
Right.
Okay, So in that case, we use this transfer learning technique where we have some trained models based on the data.
Okay.
Okay.
So how much it's beneficial means how much accuracy it gives means it works fine with the all kind of model training.
Yeah, if we are good in choosing the correct layers and all, we can get a 95% of accuracy. 95 to 98% of accuracy we can get.
Thank you. Thank you. So participants, if you have any questions, you can ask ma'am directly. You can
Like
type
to
in the
add
chat box.
transfer learning.
Hello.
Hello.
Sure, Dr. Mukherjee, please go ahead.
The question that have been asked, I may suggest there is another suggest my opinion that Tanmay, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
So another main thing is that the more the domain of the data on which the models are tested, more the domain are similar to the new problem, more it will be effective. That's the point.
Yes, exactly. Means similar to the domain.
Similar to the domain. And that's the main challenge in transfer learning. When we are applying to something and we are using the COCO or ImageNet or something that are being tested on the general purpose images, and now we are going to CT and MRI scan, things don't work actually. And that's the problem.
Right. Thanks, Mr. Professor Mukherjee.
Thank you. Just enjoyed the session that motivates me to discuss something.
Yeah, sure.
I just planned this session only like for the students, like they should put their interest in this artificial intelligence technique because this will be the future, right? I can say this will be the future.
Yes, agreed. Fully agreed, ma'am. This is the future actually.
It will replace all the other things. And I think
in every aspect there is a the involvement of the artificial intelligence means coming 20 years, 25 years, that will be the market, the growing market.
Yeah, yes, of course. Now all the companies are planned to invest in this technology only.
Yeah, the transformation is already started.
Actually, I would like to share one information that's very interesting. So recently, one of the survey company, either Deloitte, I mean these big four audit company, or someone, they have produced a report. They published a report where they have told, like, well, in the next 4 or 5 years, almost like 180, either 180 or 280 something different types of job will be created. For example, like this data scientist, it was not there 4 or 5 years back. It started afterwards. So, well, when I was doing my PhD during, let's say in 2013, I went for a internship in Splunk. That was totally a data analysis job, but my designation was just a software engineer. And then suddenly this data scientist job came into picture, and then lots of data related job, data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, all these job positions have been created. So according to these big four audit companies, one of them, like this type of 100 or 280 different types of job will be created in the next 4 years, and all will be related to this data, either related to data infrastructure or related to data analytics or data curation or different types of things. So to the students, I have a suggestion that, well, whatever be your stream, it may be electronics, it may be electrical, it may be computer science, at least gather some knowledge on data. Maybe in your domain or any other domain, at least try to be data educated, as much data educated as possible.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, and I can say that this artificial intelligence, even though it's based on some computer applications, we can say this artificial intelligence is not only for computer students. All the students, all discipline of students should know what artificial intelligence is. because we are applying this technology in all the fields. It is not only applied only to computer field or something else. It is applied to all the, as I shown in the previous things, it's applied in all the areas. So if you are a doctor, you should also know what artificial intelligence is. If you are going to be a mechanical engineer, you should also know how you have to apply this artificial intelligence in your area. And if you are going to be a MBR or finance department students, there also you should know how to use this technique. So all the area students, it is not mainly for computer science. So all should show your interest in learning all these techniques.
Yeah. Actually, Dr. Das was discussing yesterday, was that particular topic. That some history professor was interested to collaborate with the Dr. Das to learn this data science concept and applying the AI.
Yeah, if you are a history based student, you can use this artificial intelligence to find the writings, right? They can convert the script writings into normal things. So that type of technique can be put in that area.
Right, exactly. And yeah, I mean, some folks are using artificial intelligence just as a tool. Some folks are utilizing artificial intelligence to do some more involved research. So lots of different way it's being used nowadays. So it's up to you what sounds interesting to you and how you want to utilize artificial intelligence for your career. Definitely it can help you to either achieve your goal in the domain, or you can be just a computer science expert by proposing different types of models. And so yeah, I mean, just start learning and we are always there to help you. Sure.
Thank you once again, Dr. Dash and Sri Kamani. So, next we will be sharing a token of appreciation now. So please share the appreciation certificate.
A very small token of appreciation from our end, Sri Kamani.
Thank you, sir. I think it means a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Welcome.
So next, vote of thanks. So I would like to call IIC convener Professor Debolina Barik for vote of thanks on behalf of IIC.
A very good morning to all the speakers, my dear colleagues and my dear students. I am Debolina Barik, Assistant Professor in CSE and IT Department and a convener of IIC Cell at Bengal Institute of Technology. Institution's Innovation Cell, that is IIC, was launched in the year 2018 by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with AICTE for higher educational institutions to systematically foster the culture of innovation and startup ecosystem in institutions. Bengal Institute of Technology is taking part in IIC activities since 2019. We have been organizing several webinars on current ongoing topics like machine learning, deep learning, entrepreneurship, etc., to help the students to gain knowledge beyond their course curriculum. We also organize different competitions like poster competition, essay competition, ad making competition, debate competition on technical topics. IIC organizes different innovative project competitions like internal hackathon. It is a reward to see that many students are really interested to participate in these activities and doing quite well. We are constantly motivating the students to build up startups. Our students are participating in Smart India Hackathon, that is SIH competition, which is a popular national competition on innovative projects. Our IIC cell has got a 4-star rating this academic year. We hope to get a 5-star rating very soon. On behalf of IIC, I want to convey my thanks to all the speakers of this workshop. Also, I want to convey my special thanks to Dr. Orgokushum Das from Institute and Mr. Ganesham Narayan Swamy from IBM Open Power for collaborating with us and making this event a grand success. With the collaboration of Institute and IBM Open Power, BIT can surely reach new heights. We keenly look forward to work with you in future. Lastly, I want to thank all the participants in this workshop. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Debolina Barik, for your wonderful speech. So now I would like to call Professor Tonmoy, a coordinator of this workshop and also assistant professor of CSCIT department, for vote of thanks on behalf of CSCIT.
Thank you, Professor Moutan Mukhopadhyay. A graceful and warm morning to our most valued guest speakers, worthy teachers, present excellencies, management committee, and most beloved students. Last but not the least, all the gathered over here. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of my CSIT department and the entire fraternity of the college, first of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Lord God. On my behalf, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all of our guest speakers who spared time from their busy schedule and honored this event with their inspirational thoughts. I also express my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Orgokushum Das from Institute and Mr. Ganeshan Narayan Swamy from Open Power for collaborating with us to make this workshop a grand success. Hope we'll maintain this healthy relationship and looking forward to organize more events together with you. Thanks again, Dr. Orgo and Mr. Ganeshan. I would like to thank our beloved Principal Sir, Professor Dr. Narayan Chandra Ghosh, and our beloved HOD Madam, Professor Dr. Santa Puni Madam, for their constant support, cooperation, and motivation, which made this event a grand success. I would like to thank all the respected representatives who have blessed us with their presence. I also extend thanks to all the teachers of my CSIT department and my institute for their cooperation. Events like this cannot happen overnight. So, as the wheel starts rolling weeks ago and requires planning and bird's eye for the detail. Here, we are fortunate enough to be backed by a team of a very dedicated and motivated team of my CSIT department who know their task and are very much result oriented. So, on behalf of my department and my institute, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Moutan Mukhopadhyay, Mrs. Reusi Mitro, and Mrs. Urpita Chakraborty for their incomparable contribution as the members of the organizing committee of this 3 days workshop. I also would like to thank our IIC BIT for collaborating with us. A special thanks to President Professor Dr. Urpita Chakraborty, IIC convener Professor Debolina support. I also express my sincere thanks to student design team of this event. Special thanks to Shayok Banerjee and Fareen Begum for their constant effort and dedication. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the staffs of my institute for their back-end support for such a smooth and successful execution of this 3 days workshop. I also thank to Techno India Group Management, BIT Management, and to Professor Devashish Pradhan Sir for their constant support and cooperation to make this program a grand success. And finally, last but not the least, once again, I am also thankful to all my dear participants for making this workshop a grand success. A big thank to all of you once again. Now, before I end my speech, I would like to request Urpita Chakraborty Madam to share a token of appreciation for the students, design team students. Urpita Madam. Is a very small token of appreciation as a design team member of a student team, Shayok Banerjee and Fareen Begum. Well done. Thank you, Arpita madam. Over to you, Motan madam. Please conclude the session.
Thank you, Tanmay sir. So now it's time for
Well,
feedback.
before concluding the session, I would like to thank personally as well as on behalf of Institute to the entire BIT family, all the organizer, all the faculty member, all the staff member, as well as all the student participants, and whoever have participants, whoever are in the back end, and especially thanks to those student leaders who has spent their tremendous effort to make these things happen. So thank you all. And also, I would like to thank IBM Open Power. So, was I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible, sir.
Now you are on.
Now I am okay. So before concluding the session, I would like to thank you all, the entire BIT family, all the staff members, all the students, the committees, the Innovation Council, and everyone who has made this event successful. I would also like to thank you personally and on behalf of Institute for inviting me and for giving us the opportunity to present in here and doing some and helping me organize this session and for your collaboration. And also I would like to thank all the speakers who has responded and gave their speeches in this conference, without whose active participation it was not successful. So thank you, Ms. Shri Kamini from Object Automation, and big thanks to the Object Automation whole team also for this. And thanks to Mr. Ganesan Narayan Swami for arranging part of this, for co-hosting this part of this event. And also I would like to thank Mr. Amartya Hatua for this presentation. And finally, a very big thanks to all the student leaders, Farheen Begum and who was the other one?
Shayab Banerjee.
Shayab Banerjee. Thanks a lot for making this thing happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dash, for being with us for throughout the session. So now it's time for feedback. So please share the feedback link in the chat box.